Hey everyone, welcome to PARDAAH Live. This is me Anekumagan, and I hope you are all doing well. And it's important to do well in these days. And I hope wherever you are, I think the restrictions are lifted or like there are relaxation considering lockdown. So today we are going to start something very special, something very close to our heart, and we are having someone who joins in our YouTube journey. And it's very important to know about him because you will spend a lot of time listening to his inputs, his insights, and you will go into deep about his learnings about music and how much he loves music. So we are starting a new series called Forgotten Sounds. So Forgotten Sounds is actually an alternate name, or say it's a different name for calling the underrated soundtracks, or say the soundtracks which are not appreciated but are gems or gold or diamond in our memories. And so we are going to talk about a person, and I can't wait to talk about him. His name is none other than my own friend, my dear brother, and I would love to say that he is one of us, and I and him belong to the same category of music listeners, that we are Rahman Sir's fans, A.R.Rahman Sir's fan, and we ourselves call Rahmaniacs, or say we are all Rahman fans. So Rahmanism is prevalent in our conversations, and at the same time we try to talk about other music developments, other music soundtracks, other songs and other composers' works, be it BGM, be it a small snippet from anywhere. So he's a great companion for me. So Karthik Vadapalli has been a great person in shaping up my music knowledge, or say music wisdom as such, like in these 2 to 3 years of knowing him through digital, of course, like through social media. So I have come a long way. I have learned a lot of things from him. I hope he has also learned a few things from me. So introducing Karthik Vadapalli from Orlando, Florida, US. So he's going to join us in our YouTube journey, and he's going to talk about a few soundtracks which he loves and which he feels, and which I also feel that it's kind of forgotten or it's not appreciated enough. So he's going to start his episode right now. So he's going to talk about Anthimanthaarai, and he'll continue to do videos for us. And Forgotten Sounds is the new series name, and we'll keep posted about other series coming forward. So please watch the Forgotten Sounds by none other than Karthik Vadapalli on PARDAAH Live, and please share across all your friends who love music, who love the magic while listening to music. So you love music. Only a perfect, or say only an avid music listener can understand what Karthik is trying to emphasize on, and you love the way he talks because he's a very, very soft person. And the reason why I said very, very soft person is he's also a VVS Lakshman fan, so he's very, very special. So Karthik Vadapalli is very, very special for us, for our channel, and for our music culmination as such. So introducing Karthik Vadapalli, my brother, my friend, my companion in music listening, and I can say more. So please watch Forgotten Sounds of Anthimanthaarai. So we'll be releasing some episodes, or some kind of episodes in 2 parts. So this episode about Anthimanthaarai will come in 2 parts, and then we'll try to do 1 episode, 2 episodes. It depends on how much content we have. So let's see, and let's listen to what Karthik has to say, and I hope you enjoy his inputs, you enjoy the way he talks. So see you all, and continue with Karthik.
So the second song that we're going to talk about is Oru Naal Oru Poluthu, and sung by the late Mrs. Lata, and again written by Mr. Vairamuthu. Now this is like so this is quite opposite to the first song that we discussed, Sakhiye Neendam Thuniye. I mean, opposite not in its meaning, but the first song, Sakhiye Neendam Thuniye, is how Vijay Kumar tries to express his love towards Jayasudha, and now it's the opposite. Now it's like the other way around, where Jayasudha tries to tell how much Vijay Kumar meant to her. So again, a beautiful melody, which is like a bit sorrowful, I would say, which has a lot of melancholy to it. Like Sakiye Nidan Tune has a lot of joy to it, and Urunar Vurupur kind of seems to have a bit of melancholy to it. Again, this is why I tell you to like watch the movie. It's on YouTube apparently, but because when you watch the movie, you kind of understand why the first one is joyous and the second one, this one, is kind of melancholy. So this one kind of happens after 50 years they are separated, 40 years after they are separated, and they kind of meet each other. So that is when this song comes up, and it's more of her feelings of those 40 years of emptiness, how she had gone through by just having him in her mind and heart. So that is what this song basically tells everything about. And so again, there's a few lines that I would like to share. So you have, which kind of like justifies her love or her feelings. So you have நீண்ட முடி கொஞ்சம் நிறம் மாறி போச்சு, சங்கு குழி ஓடு குரல் மாறி போச்சு, ஓடி வயசு ஆச்சு உன் மாறி உருமாறி போச்சு, நினைப்பாக மட்டும் தானே மாறாம இருக்கு. So pretty straightforward. She tells that her after 40, after so many long years, her hair has grown white, she is becoming old, her voice is lost, her old voice is not there, but the one thing that remained unchanged is her feelings towards him. So that is how the song has been written. And again, as I told you, Swarnalata's voice, such a magical voice, such a divine voice. You get to see this mellow, sorrowful rendering of the song. Kind of makes you sad at some time when you kind of like go deep into it. And again, a song that I would like to like recommend. So there are certain songs that you kind of play for certain moods, right? You don't play like every song that comes up to you. If you're in a certain mood, you just want to listen to certain songs. So when it's sorrowful, when you want to listen to something like a bit sorrowful that has a bit of melancholy to it, now this is one of those go-to songs from my perspective. So last song, the final songs, I mean in the portion of the song segment, is Pullai Tingum. This is kind of a pretty jolly and a happy song. So this song talks about the baby shower, particularly deals with the baby showers of animals, of cattle and livestock that kind of come. So every stanza after an interlude has talking about a particular animal, about cows, about the sheep, about the goats, and about their baby shower, basically the baby shower of the animals. And this is where Rahman's genius comes into play, wherein he incorporates the sounds of the animals into the song by itself, by creating that kind of like a feel where you kind of get to listen to whenever there's a stanza that's talking about a cow, you have these sounds of cow mowing apart in that particular stanza a couple of times. So that's how this song has been designed, and it's pretty like it's a really fast and a peppy song, and sung by Mrs. Sumangali, and again written by Vairamuthu. Now, one of those trivia is that this song has been used in the previous collaboration of the same three collaborations, Mr. Vairamuthu, Mr. Rahman, and Mr. Bharati Raja's Karuthamma, and the same song with the same orchestration but with different lyrics. So, and to me, when I was watching this movie on YouTube, I haven't seen this song placed anywhere in the movie. So I doubt whether they really wanted to, whether it was cut off from editing in the editing section, or whether it was basically composed just for the audios or stuff. But I haven't come across the song in the movie, and but it's a bit of coincidence that it's a kind of same song that's been reused from Karuthamma with the same situation. Basically, even that one, the other song also deals with baby shower. So basically it's the same situation, the same song, the same writers, the same director, and the same composer. So So that's kind of like a trivia that I kind of like noticed. So this is about the song. So you have a lot of like this is again a fun and a peppy song that has uh, that has a lot of folkiness to it, a folk rich song. So you're going to have all these percussions and stuff that are a bit rich in folk. So that is about this song. So as discussed, the next segment that we are going to discuss are the music bits. So we have two music bits that's been named music bit 1 and 2, and music bit 1 is a short song. So these music bits just go over a minute and a half, that's it. And so you have two music bits in which one of those is completely instrumental, where you have two instruments conjoining with each other. One is the flute and then the other is the veena. So Mr. Rahman uses this in a 1.5 minute bit that kind of like takes part in the background score of the movie, wherein it is like purely Carnatic based, purely like Carnatic melody, and when you listen to it, you're going to have a fusion of veena and flute going alternatively and then fusing it to each other, and then like, and obviously you're going to have the keys, the keyboard cues. So the first music bit comprises of this as an element to all these three elements together as a whole product. The second one is quite interesting, so it has a lot of history attached to it. So the second one is Vanajakshiro. So this is a very soulful Carnatic piece that was actually composed by Mr. Ramanathapuram Srinivasa Iyengar in 1800s, late 1800s. So it's like a couple of 100 years before. And this is actually a Telugu composition, and this is a Varnam, and it is based on a Varnam called Kalyani Varnam. And now before going into the lyrics, it uses two lines. So before going into that, I'll tell you why. So I'm going to tell you the moment when this particular music bit comes into the picture. So this happens when Vijay Kumar and Jayasudha are kind of separated, and then they are like reunited after like say 35 years, and they start their new life and they begin to start it next to a cemetery. Now this is where the cultural brilliance of everyone comes into play. So the scene is that you have a cemetery, a Christian cemetery, and next to that they plan to, in the cemetery itself, they have a small hut kind of a thing, and they try to start their new living. And this basically the lyrics of this song basically targets the society by itself. According to me, how I perceive the song is that, so you have these lyrics going on which says Vanajakshiro e Veera Morvane Vasudevuni Todi Deve Vinave Nagapuramuna Velayu Saundara Rajuni. Now the meaning of this is, so the first one, Vanajakshiro e Veera Morvane, this says that look how beautiful those flowers are. So here the flowers are with respect are being compared to the eyes of the lady. So oh, the lady with the eyes of those beautiful flowers. Vanajakshiro means, it is basically, I think what from I perceive is that when I was doing a bit of research, so this is from a garden. In a garden it says that, so those eyes, the flower like eyes, are being originated from a garden. So the lady has those flower like eyes that usually originate in a garden, which says the beauty of the lady. And it says that, he says that, I am unable to believe that this kind of a lady is being separated from her lover. So he says, Mr. Ramanathapuram Srinivasa Iyengar writes, Vinave Nagaramuna Velayu Saundara Rajuni. Please go and bring the son of Vasudeva, who is Krishna. Please bring, and he is telling Krishna, please pay attention. You're the king of Nagapuram. So you need to look into her look into this lady whose eyes are so beautiful, and I am quite shook that you both have been separated, which exactly happens in the movie. Because of caste and religious basis, the couple, I mean not the couple, the lovers, the two lovers, they get separated because of these religious and caste troubles. So this basically is like mentioning it to the society by itself. Look what you society have done. You have basically separated two souls who are meant to be each other. I mean, such a brilliant idea of infusing the Varnam into the movie at a very important phase of the movie. Now, musically, this is so soulful because Mr. Rahman uses only one thing. He uses Mr. Unnikrishnan's voice and then the piano cues and nothing else. For a Varnam, nothing else. You're not going to have these typical Carnatic instruments like the Veenas and stuff. So as I keep telling, the motto of this soundtrack was, I think, to keep it as simple, as pure, as mellow as possible, and this is one fine example of that. And you, when you kind of finish listening to it, you just wish that, oh come on, this shouldn't have ended at all, it should have gone on and on and on. Such is the beauty of this small 1.5 minute musical bit, and it creates such an impact on you as well. So coming to the final part or the final segment that we discussed, so they are about the theme songs and theme music. So there are like couple of theme musics that are named theme music 1 and theme music 2 essentially. So the unique thing about these two theme musics is that both of them have a lot going on with the flutes. So flutes play an integral or a major part in both of the theme musics. The second theme music is kind of short, it's just a 1 minute version, and you can just hear flutes and then the keyboard, obviously keyboard cues, piano cues going on with each other, and it's about a minute, 2 minute, 10 minutes long. I mean, minute to 10 seconds long, and this basically forms, these two theme musics basically form an integral part in the movie, in the background scoring of the movie. So you're going to have a lot of themes. So as I told you, both the themes and the bit songs basically are integrated into the film's background score in a larger perspective, and and obviously cues from Sakiye, Needantune, and then Urunar Vurupur, they also get into stuff. But then these four, the two theme musics and then the two bit songs, basically comprise most of the background score of the movie. And coming to the first theme music, so because I kept the first theme music to the last because this has a bit of nuances to it. So it starts off with a flute and then it kind of takes a U-turn with another type of flute. So there are like two types of flutes, which I'm not really sure about which flutes are being used here, but then you're going to hear two flutes. So for the first 10 seconds of the theme, you're going to listen one different type of flute, and then from there on till the end of the theme, you're going to listen another theme, another flute going on. Now the beauty of this theme is that in spite of having the flute playing a predominant part in the theme music, you're going to have, now assuming that, so usually a song has interludes, so preludes and interludes, and the interludes are usually either humming or like instrumentals. So let us take the same concept into this theme music. So for a 1.5 minute theme music, we're just going to assume that this is like a song with interludes. So there are like two basic interludes. In the first interlude, you're going to have predominant humming, and that humming, you're going to have female vocal humming in that, in the first interlude, which I suppose is a group humming, and then for the second interlude, you're going to have a male single vocal humming. So that is how this theme music is kind of, and you're going to have a lot of like tabla beats going on in the background along with the flutes and the hummings and everything. So this is like a bit of a package, and so I would say this one as the most theme, this particular theme music as the most maybe layered ones compared to the other songs and other music bits and theme musics in the movie. So that is what uh, is with respect to the theme musics of the movie. So we are basically done with dissecting the album. So as I told you, you're gonna have 3 songs, 2 music bits, and a couple of theme musics, and that very much finishes off the entire soundtrack. So it's like basically you're gonna have a runtime for up to 20 odd minutes. So it's not too long for a soundtrack, to be honest. Like it's not too long, because they have integrated the themes and the music bits into the soundtrack, official soundtrack. It kind of looks complete, in my opinion. It kind of looks a bit complete with so you have variety of things going on, where Sakiye Nidantone is kind of a joyous melody. Orunar Vuruppudu has that bit of melancholy and sorrowness to it, and the themes are kind of like one of those music bits obviously is has the kind of like cultural identity with bringing in varnams from incorporating varnams into it. And then you're going to have one that's kind of folkish. Pullai Thingum is kind of like folkish, and then the themes are kind of like so the album kind of feels complete when you kind of have a look at it. And my final thoughts of this album, like, it's kind of pretty sad that some of these albums are like literally unknown to people, which like kind of get lost somewhere amidst all massive albums and soundtracks and stuff. And like as we were speaking with when we were talking about the movie, it kind of like it's like more of adding like the burn to the wound. So it's like you're basically having these big names and not many people really know about it. And even like a fair bit percentage of Mr. Rahman's fans also would not have really heard about this album or known about this album. So even if you have to narrow it down, even the Tamil speaking Mr. Rahman fans are not quite, you don't get to see someone who's going to tell you that, you know what, one of my favorite melodies is Sakiye Nidantune, and one of my favorite incorporations of classical music or classical Carnatic music into songs is Vanajakshiro. You're not going to have people telling that in a large number, but this is one of those albums where you're going to get a complete package of Carnatic and classical music that is like, when I say edible, I'm using the word edible. So because you assume it, you're going to take this as a movie soundtrack. So with a movie soundtrack, even though how much ever you are incorporating Carnatic classical music into it, there needs to be a limit to which it can go. And with this movie, you're going to have all those elements. It looks so uh, tailor made. I mean, tailor made is the correct word. It's like so tailor made to the situation of the movie, situation of the characters, the characteristics of the characters, and everyone's vision comes into play basically. Obviously, the lyricist's vision, the director's vision, the composer's vision, everything comes together, and it kind of beautifully gels into the movie. So I mean, the only reason for this particular soundtrack I'm stressing too much about the movie scene is because once you watch the movie, you'll be understanding the depth of its music better than like listening to it without watching the movie, because uh, because it's so deep. There are some deep lyrics associated with it, and if you can like perceive when you watch the movie, obviously you're going to have different perceptions as to why a particular song is being placed here or stuff. If the song is really meant to be like placed at a particular situation. So I'm not talking about those songs. Nowadays songs are kind of used as fillers, where you just have songs here and there, or not this is not your regular commercial movie where you have a separate track for the sounds and you just have a duet like people dancing around. So this is not that kind of an of soundtrack. So if you ask me, my suggestion is like try to watch the movie and then kind of like get back to the soundtrack, or first listen to the soundtrack and get back to the movie, vice versa. But if you try to complete both of them, both by listening to the soundtrack and watching the movie, at some point you would instantly get attached to the soundtrack more. And again, one of those soundtracks that is so mellowed down, toned down. It's so soft when you receive in reception. It's kind of very soft, and when you're not going to have these jarring sounds. Something where you can use the soundtrack as a tool for your relaxation. Basically, where you just want to listen to some mild music, not over the board or over the top orchestrations, even be it Mr. Rahman songs as well. So, for example, there's a huge difference between something, a melody with very rich orchestrations. So, for example, be it a duet like Satrangi Re, where you're going to have these very rich, enigmatic orchestrations going around, and that is not literally the same as listening to Sakhiye, though both are like melodies, but there's a huge difference. So that is why I'm telling you, your mood depends on the soundtrack. Basically, listening to this soundtrack will basically depend on your mood. When you kind of you do have like some many people like us, we would be in that zone where sometimes we just want everything to be calm and serene about us, and this soundtrack gives you that serenity. And my so this being the first soundtrack of this series, or what do you call, series of episodes where we're going to discuss about different soundtracks, different underrated ones. So I wish everyone who watches the video that they would give this a try. Like again, music does not connect to everyone at every aspect. So if it connects to you, it's fine. If it does not, then also it's fine. You're going to have different soundtracks that connect to us in different point of times. So there's nothing harm in but then there's nothing harm in like listening to it once. If you're an ardent music lover, you will be finding ways to listen to it, and you will be finding ways to really get into stuff, how you want to deal with it or how you want to listen to it. So everyone has a method, or everyone has some sort of things going up in their mind how they usually listen to the albums. So in every order. So for example, sometimes I kind of pick up an album that I want to listen to, pick up a soundtrack, and I usually create an order within myself as to, okay, this one, if I listen to it first and then I come back to this, and then I start off with this. So there's some sort of like an order that we create within ourselves, just to give that comfort zone within ourselves. So you have 7 songs, you have like all different kinds of songs in this. You're going to have like instrumentals, you're going to have themes, you have 3 songs, and I mean, you can play around with it with respect to arranging and listening it in order. You need not go in basically one particular order, listen all 3 songs at once, and then listen to the 2 theme musics at once, and listen to the 2-bit songs at once. So you can create that kind of you have 3 plus 2 plus 2, so you can do the permutations and combinations to get yourselves right. So again, this is just an attempt to just bring down or make people know that there are certain soundtracks that kind of went unnoticed or stuff. This has nothing to do with technical elements of the music, technicalities of the music, how it was composed, and not really musical. This is just very minute base level details. That's it. We haven't gone deeper at all, and I am really no person to explain that, because I did not learn music. nor I teach music. So it's basically out of passion. When you kind of listen to something, you kind of tend to tell people, you kind of tend to express. So this is just that kind of a small expression. I mean, a fan within me. So a fan in me, Mr. Rahman's fan in me, is kind of like wanting people to know that such soundtracks kind of exist, and why you can try to hear or try to give it a try. So by listening to the soundtrack, and maybe possibly, so when you kind of listen and when you kind of like it, you may tell to 10 other people, and who knows, one fine day you might have many people listening to the soundtrack, many people like listening to the listening to it after years of its release, and probably we can at some point of time remove the word underrated tag from this particular soundtrack. So that's the only motto or motive behind doing this doing these stuffs, not to like literally tell that okay, we know so and so things, we know I know about this, I know about that. No, it's just about like letting people know that some of these soundtracks do exist, and particularly for music lovers, where you kind of like try to like search for music soundtracks and stuff. At least from our side, we are trying to get you, we're trying to cover you up for one composer. So next time we would be bringing another album, another soundtrack, where we can discuss about the same thing more or less, maybe get into more detail or get into more nuances. So until then, enjoy. Please listen and watch to please listen and watch Anthimanthaarai. And oh, I forgot totally. So Anthimanthaarai, I haven't really given the meaning of the word, which I mean, I tried looking into Google and stuff. It's a flower, apparently. So it's a hibiscus flower. So how I got to know that Andi Mandare means this is because Mandara is hibiscus. So I am basically a Telugu native guy. So I but stayed in Tamil Nadu for a long time, and so that is how I kind of like knew Mandara means hibiscus. So maybe it's a shade of different shade or a type of hibiscus, or it is from from the hibiscus family. And another proof or another kind of uh, thing that I got was, when you're watching the movie, you do have the only flower that they kind of show is the hibiscus basically. So that's how I kind of like thought that okay, Anthimanthaarai means a hibiscus. So the reason I'm telling this is, now when you kind of relate this to Vanajakshiro, when we talked about it, like how inside a garden, when the lady's eyes is looking beautiful as a flower, so maybe that is what they kind of like interpreted, and that's how maybe from Vanajakshiro might be the reason where they kind of like took this movie's title. So I forgot to tell this in the beginning, so I just remembered it, and I just wanted to share that. So the film's on YouTube, as I told you, and the songs you should. Unfortunately, there's no Spotify or Apple Music or any. I don't think any streaming music streaming sites have this album. So I think the legally you can find it on YouTube. You can just like, so when you go to, when you just type in the title of the song, when you will just get it, and when you just type in theme music 1 from Anthimanthaarai, you're going to get it. Theme music 2 from Anthimanthaarai, you're going to get it. Music bit 1, 2. So you will be getting those in YouTube. And if not, I think the only way is to download from uh, a site, some website that you are comfortable with. But I don't really know where officially it is kind of available, and if it is available, you can like please let us know, so that we can just describe it, so that people who are interested can stream it or download it, or however they want to access it. So that's it from today's episode. So until next time, see you.